Well, the market is a little bit sluggish, but Mukund, that's the stock that's buzzing in trade. They've completed the sale of that land worth around 800 crores odd. This will help in reducing borrowing costs as well as deleveraging the company. Remember, this was announced a while back. The company had received around 160 crores in March 2022. And now, in fact, they've received the entire quantum. To understand the way ahead, well, we're joined by Mr. Niraj Bajaj, the chairman and managing director of the company. Hi, Mr. Bajaj. Good morning. Well, first of all, wishing you a good 2023. Shareholders are quite excited once you took over from the erstwhile promoter. And they've been expecting the company to start performing. And this is a step in the right direction. Now, could you tell us this money that you're going to be receiving is going to be used for debt reduction, I'm guessing. So what is the last updated debt that you have as of September 2022? And what does it come down to? Please go ahead.
Let me say, yes, happy to be talking to you, Nigel. And our big issue in Mukund was the high debt. So this will reduce our debt by about 800 crores. So we were, if you look at 2 years back, our total debt was about, the short-term, long-term all combined was about 3,500 crores. Now, actually, it comes down to about after this 800 crores has come in yesterday, it comes down to about 1,000 crores. But 2 years back, our top line was about 2,500 crores. This year, this financial year, I had mentioned in the AGM to the shareholders that we hope to cross a top line of 6,000 crores. And we are absolutely on track to do that. But what has happened is because of the more than doubling of the top line, the requirement for working capital obviously has increased by 400-500 crores.
Right.
So our total debt now would be about 1,400 crores.
All right.
So 400-450 crores has increased because of, in the last 2 years, because of working capital requirement. But otherwise, the debt from 3,400 has really gone down 3,500 crores to about 1,000 crores. So there's a huge saving, of course, in interest costs, and
right,
paying at
which is exactly which is exactly what we wanted to find out. Mr. Bajaj, you said that your debt will come down from 3,500 crores to about 1,000 crores. Add about working capital of 400-450 crores to that itself. What kind of interest expenditure will you be incurring? Because over the last 4 quarters, you've been giving somewhere around 40 to 45 crores per quarter in terms of finance costs. How much will that come down to?
So let me first say that we were paying on an average an interest rate 2 years back of about 13% or so cost to the company.
Mm-hmm.
Now this has come down to about 8.5%. So that's a huge saving in terms of quantum and the rate of interest. Now, obviously, if debt comes down by 800 crores and the marginal cost of, say, interest rate is about 10%, we straight away save 80 crores, which goes to the bottom line. So that impact will start happening right from today.
9% on 1,450 odd crores comes to around roughly 35 crores per month. Anywhere between that is per quarter. So is that the kind of number that we're looking? That's roughly 10 to 15 crores worth savings every quarter?
Yes, because saving is straight away mathematically at least 80 crores saving per year, because that's the marginal cost of our borrowing.
Yeah.
And that 80 crores translates to 20 crores a quarter.
Okay, all right. Mr. Bajaj, we want to talk to you. We request you to hang on. We have the RBI governor who's speaking, and then we'll come right back to you. So please hang on.
Good morning to all of you, this distinguished gathering, and I'm delighted to have been invited by the IMF to join this distinguished gathering here today to discuss pathways to what was described as resilient, sustainable and inclusive growth in South Asia. I'm happy to note that the conference proceedings will be anchored by research findings and policy recommendations of the book titled South Asia's Path to Resilient Growth. In the current international setting, global trade and growth outlook appear quite uninspiring. and policies have to be conducted amidst a whirlwind of uncertainty. At such critical times, conferences of this nature can help us better understand the evolving scenarios and policy trade-offs, which are not easy in the current times. In my address today, I propose to briefly cover some of my thoughts on South Asia's current macroeconomic challenges and policy priorities. Looking back into history, the South Asian region has been a key hub of ideas.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll try to get back to what the RBI governor is saying. But Mr. Bajaj, thank you so much for waiting by. Well, you've given us a sense in terms of the debt picture and the savings as well. So that's good news. Let's talk about the operational update. But before that, are there any other non-core assets that you have to sell, or is it done?
For the time being, it is done.
Okay.
We will have a little bit here and there, but we have still very valuable land, over 100 acres at our Kalbe plant. So which right now, most of it is, of course, utilized by our stainless steel facility and the rolling mills and our machine building division.
Then, right? That's not non-core as of now.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
So, right now, there is nothing right now.
Okay, all right, Mr. Bajaj, apologies for this, but requesting you to hang on. I think we have got that line back with the RBI governor.
Alongside notable progress on key development parameters. As per the estimates of the IMF, South Asia contributes nearly 15% to global growth, led by India and Bangladesh. The region also receives 1/5 of total remittance flows in the world. The South Asian region has grown, responding to formidable global challenges in the past. Following the food crisis of the 1960s, with which all of us are familiar, the region successfully implemented the Green Revolution. And that brought about a huge change in this region in terms of achieving self-sufficiency in many parts of this region, and the earlier dependence on imports from other countries was considerably reduced. After the oil shocks of the 1970s, so that was in the 60s, and then subsequently, after the oil shocks of the 1970s, immigration from South Asia to West Asia became one of the largest market-driven labor flows. This in turn led to a significant increase in remittance flows into the region. The Asian financial crisis of 1997 impacted the South Asian countries in terms of surges in capital outflows and exchange market pressures. Over the years, as a crisis prevention strategy, the South Asian countries prioritized sound macroeconomic policies and embraced financial sector reforms, focusing on competition, prudential regulation, enhanced transparency, audit, and accounting standards. These measures helped in preserving macro stability while sustaining integration of domestic economies with the global economy. In recent years, multiple shocks, in particular the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine, have dampened the economic prospects of the South Asian region as in other parts of the world. Some of the countries in the region have also been contending with ramifications of unsustainable debt and climate change-induced events. Consequently, they have been seeking recourse to the IMF's financing facilities. Notwithstanding these challenges, as per the World Economic Outlook database of October 22, which was released by the IMF, India, Bangladesh, and Maldives would be among the fastest growing economies in the world in 2022 and 2023. According to the Asian Development Bank's December 2022 outlook, the South Asian region's GDP is projected to grow at 6.5% in 2022 and 6.3% in 2023.
Okay, all right. That was the RBI governor, but we'll get back to the conversation that we're having with the management of Mukand. Thanks so much, Mr. Bajaj, for waiting by with us. Now we'll have no more interruptions. Let's talk about business. Could you tell us, you're doing around 1,500 crores per quarter. As you said, 6,000 crores for the year. What about margins? They have come down to around 2.5–3% odd. Obviously, it's gone through a bit of a rough phase for the industry, not for the company specifically. What is the steady state margins that we can work with? The stainless steel industry on the whole could see a bit of a tailwind because of demand from pipes and various other sectors. Your sense?
Margins, we are finding improvement quarter by quarter. There will always be a little ups and downs, but say for stainless steel, our order book is full. For alloy steels, our order book is full because in our partnership with Sumitomo Corporation of Japan, we have a company called Mukand Sumi Special Steels Limited. And this has put up about 700 crore absolutely state-of-the-art rolling mill. So we believe we are producing world-class rolled steel, special alloy steel products at this mill. And that's why the customer response is very, very good. And that's why our order books are up.
Right. Mr. Bajaj, for 6,000 crore revenues in this year, what kind of margins can you do? And going forward, what is a sustainable run rate?
I can only tell you that margins are improving.
Okay.
They are improving. I should not say anything more than that.
Okay.
Because I have to share it with shareholders first.
Yeah, I mean, shareholders are watching here, so you can obviously share it and it will, be broadcast to them as you are speaking. So there's no first, second out here. But we take your point, your reluctance to give us quantitative details out here. What currently is your capacity? I mean, at optimum capacity, what kind of revenue can you do? And what's your utilization at?
So utilization, now again, it's a difficult thing to define. What does it mean? What does it, is it 7 days working, 24 hours working? So I would say the plants are going all out because we are able to sell everything we produce. We do believe that some debottlenecking here, something here, so all that is in process going on. So for example, say 6,000 crores top line, we can maybe hope for maybe another 1,000 crores increase next year. And so that's sort of a thing we expect. And we are working on various plans to now, because we went through a very tough time in the last many years. Last sort of 2 years, we have come out of this, we have come into profits. And as we expect to do better and better, now we will also work towards growth and expanding capacity.
Okay.
So wherever we find that there are very good returns, and as I said, orders has not been a problem because we have been in specialized alloy steel as well as in stainless steel. We have been quality leaders in the country, and our products are accepted even internationally from the most fastidious customers in the world.
Okay.
So there we are very well positioned. But we were going slow on capacity expansion.
Okay.
That we can now work much faster.
Okay, all right. Mr. Bajaj, the final question then, a couple of questions that I have is, you said maybe you could increase sales by close to 1,000 crores. To increase sales by 1,000 crores, do you have to incur some capex, or with the current gross block you can do that, or will the capex be marginal?
Capex will be there, but it will be marginal.
Marginal,
because
okay.
it is not, because steel is very capital intensive, as you know.
Yeah.
So this is not a major capital outgo. It is more a debottlenecking. It's more efficiencies. It is more. So it is actually the capex will be there, but it will be marginal.
Okay. And what about your sales mix as of now? Are you seeing any slowdown? First of all, I don't think so, because you're saying you're functioning at optimal levels. Order books are full. So my sense is that maybe you've not yet witnessed a slowdown, but you could clarify on that front. And what is your sales mix between domestic and exports? Is there any exports?
You see, what happens in, say, stainless steel, for example, maybe 60–70% of what we produce ultimately goes abroad, goes to Europe, goes to virtually all over the world. But some of it goes directly by us and some of it we supply to further processors who export.
Right.
All right.
So if you ask about direct exports, it would be about, say, 30% or so.
Okay.
But indirectly, where we know it's being made for an export customer of our customer, it would be about 70%.
Okay, got it. Well, Mr. Bajaj, it's good to speak to you. We're speaking after a while, after a few quarters, and you've brought some good news as well. So we look forward to chatting up with you maybe at the end of this year, and we'll get an update. But otherwise, congratulations on concluding this. And
thank you very much. It got delayed. It took a lot of time,
Yes.
lot of
Got it.
procedures, processes,
Yeah.
but it's very big. It's very good news for Mukund.
thanks so much for that. Well, let's slip into a short break on that note. You come back, we continue our focus on markets and stock-specific action.